All right, so if you're interested or wanting to try to use wikis in your courses, there's a couple things you need to know, and I kind of want to walk you through those so you will be prepared and ready to start building them out in your courses. So I'm in a playground course, and I'm going to walk you through a few of the steps. First thing you need to know about wikis, with the new Blackboard integrations that we have going on, wikis do not automatically appear in your tools. So if you come up here and you try to add a wiki, it is not available automatically. So you have to come down to your tool availability. It's underneath customization, tool availability, and it's going to be all the way at the bottom because it's alphabetically. And you're going to just want to scroll over here to this little checkbox and turn it on. So make sure that you're doing this in any brand new course that you're entering into. It's not going to be checked. Same is true for blogs and journals, any of these extra tools that you might be using on Blackboard. If you're not seeing it the first time that you try to use it, just come here to the tool availability and make sure it's turned on, and that should solve your problem. So now that it's turned on, I can come up here, tool link, and it is going to be listed. So I can just name this wikis and make it available to my users. All right, so at this point, you need to make a decision for your class. How large is your class? Do I have a class of 5 to 10 and one wiki will work for the entire class? Or do I have 20, 30, maybe even 40 students and I need to put them into groups so that they're in smaller groups right in each wiki? If you have 20 students working on one wiki, then it really isn't going to work, because all 20 of them can't contribute unique ideas and they can't really give feedback on this one wiki page. So think of a wiki as one big discussion board, and they're all inputting their own unique thoughts and their own unique ideas, but it kind of becomes hard to do so with just one of them if there's 20 students. So let's go to the first scenario where you have less than 10 and all of them can fit on just one. If that is the case, then you can come here to this wiki that we just made, toolbar, and you can create a wiki. And you can do one per week, one per unit, one per whatever. So we are going to call this week 1 whole class wiki. Because again, as I said, the entire class can fit on this one because I have less than 10. Less than 10 students in a class. So right here in this instructions, you would put the instructions for the students. This week, I need you all to research your own article and then give information about the article and talk about it in this wiki and expand upon it on each other, or give them a scenario that they need to analyze and they need to give feedback about what they would do in this scenario, and they're all going to build upon each other's thoughts. They're given one reply for the whole group. Now you will be able as the instructor to see who wrote what and who edited what. So if one person did the work for the whole group, you are going to know it. You do get that breakdown in percentages, but you're given the opportunity for the whole group to contribute in this one feedback area. Right? Just like any other engagement tool, you make it available, you can set the dates. I would recommend you leave it open to editing and commenting, and you set a grade for it. How many points is this week's wiki worth, and when is it due? If you want to come up with rubrics for your wikis, then by all means create a rubric and add it here. All right, that's it. Whole class wikis are super simple and easy to use. All right, so you can even go to your lessons tab. You can go to the week in which you want to include the wiki, and you can even drop a link directly down into this individual week for your students to be able to find. So we're going to link to a wiki, and here's my whole week wiki, whole class wiki. All right, gives you the same information. When do you want to display this particular link? And then I can submit it. So if you didn't have these links over here on the side, then they could just use this link right here to drop them straight into the wiki for that particular week. All right, so that's everything you need to know about whole class wikis. Great if you have 10 or fewer students, but what if you don't have 10 or fewer students? What if I have more than that? I have, that 20, 30, 40 range. Well, then my recommendation is to put your students in groups. So it takes a little bit more work, but it's going to be much better for your students and for you because you're actually giving every student a chance to be a part of the wiki. So to do this, you're going to scroll down here past all of this, and you're going to go down here to your users and groups area, and you're going to build out groups for your course. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to create group sets. Now, I highly recommend you make group sets and you don't create single groups. It's going to take you a lot longer if you do single groups. You have options to self-enroll. Students can choose which groups to be in. Random enroll. You don't know your students. You just want to equally distribute them amongst the groups. Or you want to manual enroll. You know these students. You've had them for several courses already. You're in a cohort, and you know who you want to put together and who you do not want to put together. Most of the time, a random enroll is going to work great for you because you don't know the students coming in. But just know you have both of these options, or all three, self-enroll if you choose to go that route. I'm going to demo random enroll. So I choose a random enrollment where Blackboard is going to randomly distribute my students equally amongst the group set. Again, week 1 wiki group. And we have group in here. We have different groups. And I'm leaving it with group at the end. I'm not putting anything after it because it's going to number it group 1, group 2, group 3 for me. Group is visible to students. And then what is this group doing? So you actually could use this trick if you wanted to put your students in groups to do discussion boards, or you wanted to put them in groups to do blogs or journals. I only want to put them in groups to do wikis. So I'm unchecking everything else. They're going to be doing a wiki, and that wiki is going to be worth 100 points. And then we didn't change this on the last screen, but you could have. I want to know after my students have done something 2 times that I need to be alerted. They posted, and then they kind of went back and edited, or they went back and did something else. Or you could just leave it out once. They did their initial posting, and that's all I need to know. All right. I do not recommend you create smart views. Your over here will get very cluttered if you do smart views. So I would recommend leaving that turned off. And then here we go. Number of students per group. Know your class size. I'm going to have 20 students in this class. So I want to have 5 students per group, and then we'll evenly distribute it. Or I'm not going to set it on that, and I'm going to tell it, I want you to make me 5 groups, and then it's automatically going to just distribute that. If this is something you're probably going to copy year after year, then I would recommend that you pretty much go ahead and set your groups and let the Blackboard handle distributing your students. If you're making this within the class, then sure, tell it how many students you want per group. All right, so we'll have it create for us 4 groups and then evenly distribute the students between it. There we go. Distribute the remaining members amongst the groups. Okay? Or I could have it put in a group of their own, etc. All right. So here are the groups that I just made. Now, my wiki isn't made yet, just my groups. But that's okay. It's not a big deal. I'm going to go right back to the same page I was in before, and I'm going to create it. Now, tip, just so you know, while you're here, I would go ahead and I would create all my groups throughout the semester. So if I know I'm doing a wiki per week, then I would go ahead and create it for every single week. Week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and so on. So create, random enroll, go ahead and do it for the next one, and so on and so forth for all of my weeks. All right, once you're done with that, coming over here to wikis, and you see I have them. The reason I tell you they're not done is because I haven't added instructions to them. Right now it's just an empty wiki, whereas this one, if you remember, I gave it this very brief set of instructions. I haven't had a chance to do that for these yet. So I'm going to edit properties, and I'm going to give them the wiki instructions now. What do I want these students to do in week 1? Sorry, I'm not more creative. There's their instructions. Now, save yourself time, copy, and go to the next one. If you have a Word document that you want to keep all these in to use from year to year, you can, but if you copy, it will copy over. And then you're just going to open up each one and copy and paste. I wish it did this for you automatically when you created it, but it does not. But as you can see, it's not horribly time consuming. This is the only thing you manually have to do inside the wiki itself. And now they're all ready to go for week 1. You do not have to set up separate links. Students can navigate to here. The only one the students are going to see is the one that they're a group member of. So if I'm a student A and I'm in group 1, I will not see group 2, 3, and 4. So there's no chance of me accidentally posting to the wrong one. I will only see the one that I'm a part of. However, if you do want to go above and beyond, go back to my lessons and week 1. And as I did before, I want to post that wiki. Whoops, excuse me. You see there's only that whole class wiki, which I've already done. Let me back this up. If I want to do the group version, then I'm going to choose this groups. And now I can see, actually a lot more because I have other examples, but I'm going to do a link to my group. And that group is week 1 wiki. All right. And so now students will see this, and it will take them to the group page. And it's an extra click, but again, they'll only see the one that they are assigned to. They won't see all the extras. All right, guys, so that's everything you need to know about wikis. If you choose to use them, that is wonderful. They are a good tool. They're fun. They're a little bit different from discussion boards. They're a little bit better for you because you're only graded 4 for this week instead of all the different discussion boards. But it's just a change for the students if you choose to explore it. All right, if you have any questions or anything you want to go over or know more about, please don't hesitate to reach out.